radial gradient on the body, which is underneath everything else. Circle, and then a color, and then another color, and that's what that looks like. Well, let's hide this first element here. Okay. It's not at the center, but we're not going to worry about that yet. So how about 40 pixels, 0. Too small. 7. Maybe 75. And then that circle is at a position. And we have two choices. We could do at 50%, 20 pixels, 20%, 110, 20, 125. So that's one choice. The other choice we have would be to do a background position. We'll take it would be 50% and 25 pixels. Then it repeats, or maybe it's, how would we do that? Minus 10 pixels, 20. How about just 5? Is that just 5? Or is it right in the middle and I don't even need to work? Oh, because we have the circle. Here we go. So the Y, minus 10, minus 20, minus 25. So yeah, that's shorter. Sure. So again, we have that choice of the at or whatever. Okay, so I think we've got, okay, so we have the branches that we need to do. Well, we have the first one, which is the long branch. And then we need a color on it. And we're going to need a height. We have the height. Background. Okay. So let's set our margins. Okay, so 100 is too much. 90, 91, 92, 93, 94. Okay, and let's do margins on the sides. 100, and 50, 60, 70, 80, 81, 82. Okay, so our height then is 200. Okay. So that alters our background because this body, probably because this margin, we need a bottom margin at 0. So, okay. And is that now slightly offset? Because everything has to be a little bit hard. All right. Okay. 205, and that is just not doing it. How about 10, 20, 30? Maybe this is actually better with the at. If we have to keep moving it at 50%, and then 125 pixels. We said, yeah. All right, so we'll just leave that be. We might optimize this later, but for the time being, let's not do that. Okay, so border radius. And if we're like 10 wide, it's like 5 pixels. 10 pixels over 20 wide. All right, so top rounded, bottom not rounded. And are we tall enough? I don't know if we're tall enough. We need to be 206 or change this margin. This is 90, 95. There it is. Okay, so 95 is the top margin, actually. Okay. Okay, so the trick here, we need another one of these. And we can either make it shorter and then rotate it, or just use it as is and then alter the background. Okay, so let's just see. Rotate 30 degrees, and we don't see it. Why? Because the margins. Actually, let's do this transform. Translate y minus 100 pixels, and then rotate 30 degrees, and we don't see a darn thing. How about 2? There it is. Oh, I like that. I guess it's 45. 3. Cool. I like that. Okay. So we're gonna need another one, right? Okay. So, and I guess we need not just to translate y, we need to translate of a first number. It's going to be negative. That's pretty great. Okay. So that's the second one. And instead of this, we'll do a B and put a B attribute. And then we're going to do another one because it's so similar. We're going to use that. So B plus B, so that's the second B attribute selector. And that it's also got to transform. And that's going to be minus 45 degrees, isn't it? And we need more. How about 5? And it says 30. Ho, ho, ho. Super symmetrical. Oh, I love it. Oh, look at that. Okay, so definitely patterns here, huh? Okay. We need to fix the colors. So we need a linear gradient. And it's a linear gradient going from the same color to the same color. But if we turn the second one into a variable, var C, or a default of the color, and then if we set for the B element, C is transparent. So you can see that happening. That's great. Okay, let's set 20 pixels, and then set the other color stop here, 0. There we go. So 20. How about a percentage here? 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's submit that and make sure we're at 100%. Because if we can, then we can tune up some of this very verbose transforms. That is 100% match, and we're going to take it. I do kind of feel like I see a line there, but that's often the case. We see some of that anti-aliasing. Okay, so let's say f for factor is -1. This transform is var so as a calc of 30 pixels, actually do that as minus calc of var --f times that. I'm going to X this out to make that not the case, and then do --f is -1. Okay. And if we do this as a calc as well, calc. Actually, the calcs are, I'm not excited about the calcs anymore. Let's just do them as variables. Yeah, that's no good. Var of dash dash. So that's the X value or that value, and then a var of dash dash Y value or 305 pixels. And then the rotate will be the var of an angle. Var of an angle. Or 45 degrees. So then, if we do dash dash X is 30 pixels, dash dash Y, basically just recapitulating what's in this, minus 605 pixels, and then dash dash A is minus 45 degrees, and that's it. Okay, what else can we remove and optimize and change here? I can't change those. The C. Yeah, the C is that color, and I guess strictly speaking, instead of doing this variable, we need a variable anyway. We do this as, we don't use this as the number. We use instead alright, so that doesn't look good. There we go. And do this is the variable var dash dash C or 28% or 100% rather. And then this C can be 28%. Oh, and this needs to be transparent instead. Okay. I think that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Curious to know. So that is better. Other solutions I've done were in the 603 range, so this is far less characters. Very satisfying. And what? Oh, we had. I guess we had this deal here. Let's change the circle. So that circle. So that circle now is way low. How about 50%? We're just sneaking it up. 250. Yeah, so this is a little bit terser in terms of the syntax, but we had no way of knowing what that would be. So let's resubmit. Maybe this is a little bit shorter in terms of code length. And 99.9%. Okay, so it's just not quite right. How about one more pixel or one less pixel? Let's resubmit. It's okay. You know, we've got our 100%. Okay. And that we just shaved off a few more characters. All right, code golf. It's pretty fun. Okay, we got the translates. Variables are all set. No more tuning. All right, next. This is sure something. Let's start with a blank template and do. Is this a? Like I don't even know. Is this a is the circle, is that a circle behind? I don't remember. A circle. That purple. Oh, and then I guess we need the bright purple. And don't forget your commas. Great. Let's make it bigger. 50, 60, 50. Is that the circle? That might be the circle at 50%, 20 pixels, 100, 10, 25. How about 55? And then make this 130. How about 60? So it is, I was afraid it was an oval. I don't think it is at 135. Okay, cool. So that's a good start. If we do this as transparent, definitely feel like this is I guess we've got choices here. We could use skew. I've been using skew lately. All right. If we wanted to use skew, what would that look like? Transform skew y of some angle, 30 degrees. And you got to make sure you give it color. Background. And use a colon. And don't chop off the 4 at the end. There we go. So that's something. Right now we got margins on that. Do we display flex on this? And then let's align the items. Align items, center. And let's make a second one. Okay. So we'll see if we can do. We still got this T in the middle that's going to be way different. But so normally I would do this with conic gradients, or linear, and then conic, or a linear gradient that covers the right and left sides, and then one conic gradient that does the bottom, and then another that does the top of this little angle, the little points of the horn. This is like a book or a shield or whatever it is. Okay, let's do. Okay. So now, if we justify content, okay, make them a little less wide, 50, 60. So that is probably the width of each of those elements. Sure. Still going to be a little bothered by. All right, so here's where calc really helps us. Factor, we'll call it 1. And we'll do calc of -f times this 30 degrees. And then we'll set -f to -1. Assuming we did that right. Nope, it's not. We're not doing that right. It's skew x calc of var. That's what we need. Var -f. And then not an extra paren. No, we do need that paren because it's calc. And that's where we need it. Okay. Now we're set up. So what's this angle? 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Let's make this taller so we can kind of see 110. All right, what I want to see is a very even error. Are those two different angles? Oh boy. Okay, so I think what we're seeing here is that this is not really going to work because I think those two angles are different. So the top angle and the bottom angle are different. So that means that the skew won't work. We can still use what we've got, but I think that means we're going to put a background on this element with a linear gradient. Okay, so yeah, no skew, fine, but we need to be taller. All right, and then let's get rid of the align items center, margin, margin 40, 50. Okay, and then less margin here, 5. And this matters less. Okay. So now we need to cover. All right, so let's do linear gradient coming in from the top corner, so that's what, 45 degrees or something, transparent, and then a color, 50%. If those are two angles, then we need two linear gradients. Or actually, what we don't even care about this. We don't want that. We want a clip path. So let's set our background, rate. And then let's set a clip path. Clip path. And we've already got the I don't remember doing this one, but I definitely was all kind of gradients, which were my wheelhouse, but doing it with objects is a little bit more tricky. Okay, so top corner is 0, 0. Bottom corner is 100% over, and then like 40 pixels down. Next corner is 100%, 100%, I think, if we've got the heights right. And then instead of this factor, we don't need factor anymore, but we do need scale -1. Scale 1 -1. Okay, or how? Oh, maybe it's -1, 1. There it is. Okay. Okay. We need another point at 0, 80 pixels. And now we adjust these 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. That looks pretty good. How about 100? And then are we too tall? I think we're too tall. How about 51? 50. Is that right? We're too tall. So 149. 148. 49. And then let's adjust this number, 101. 99. That looks pretty good. Now we just have the T left. Okay, that is a lot of work for for these elements. So we're gonna do these as the P, B, and then we're gonna create, this is B and B. This one is a workout. A lot of moving parts. All right, so now comparatively, this is just a background of pink. The height is super short, or the height is super not tall, so like 10. The width is like 100. Oh, and then we've got flex. Oh boy. So flex wrap. Okay. So I'm not sure why I did this, but that was not a great idea. I don't think it was a great idea. Instead of this, we're going to put this on the attribute T. Okay. And then make this P paragraph again. And then this is P plus P. So that's a sibling selector, adjacent sibling selector. And then for this T, we need to make the clip path not work. Clip path unset. A lot of moving parts here. Okay, border radius. And then margin, minus 100. Okay. 120, 30, 125, 126. And this width should be like 50, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Okay. And then the other part of the T, there's another T. And what is that? The width on that is 10. Oh, and then, oh boy, so the flex is getting in our way now. Okay. Oh man. Okay. So what do I need to do to force? Well, I need to adjust those margins, 100. So rather than do the width, so I need to unset the width as well. Oh boy, width, unset, margin, width 100%. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to add another one. And I have no idea where that is. Let's do a background of red to see if we can see this thing. Don't see it. There it is. Great. That width is that height, so we need a height. just playing with numbers, trying to get this into position. 110, 20. Man, a lot of moving parts. Okay, so great. And let's make that height a little taller, 60. Okay, are those all the pieces? Definitely way more work than I thought it was going to be. The decision to go with flex here, so that's 100% match. All right, the decision to go with flex made placing these secondary objects more complicated, and I'm not sure if there's a great way to take them out of the flex flow. Like, I don't know, is there a CSS specifier that does that? Because, or a CSS rule that I can do to do that. All right, so, and this is still applying, and this applies to probably all the rest of these, but they don't have an effect because they're scaled the same way, horizontally, vertically. And I guess in theory, which I didn't think about, I could have rotated the second of the T elements to get it into place, but this is also taller than it is short and wide, so that's not going to work. All right, so no margins on any of these, so let's do a var of margin, M or that value, allowing us to do this as -m. This does have a width, so we'll do it as a var W or 60. So this is -w, and then this is -w. We'll do height as a variable. This weird 149 number, var -. H. Background we can do as a variable as well, var -b for background, or this default, allowing us to do -b. The margins, we don't set margins on these guys, we just let them be, and then we unset them. Border radius, so border radius, can this border radius be here? Probably not. Yeah, that blunts those things, and that's no good. Clip path, we can do var C for clip, and then rather than do clip path unset, which does that, we can do -c and just set it. Oh, where's our border radius? Oh, did I just clobber the border radius? I believe I did. Okay, let's minify and submit, because that's a lot of moving parts, man. And that's a better score than I've gotten in the past, so I'm content with that. I think we'll stop there, because yeah, we're just gonna stop there. Next, more interesting shapes. Just the hits keep coming. Okay, so let's put the background on. Let's do a display flex. And let's actually, maybe not. Maybe we don't want display flex there. We just want to use margins. Let's use margins. So margin 100 for that does that. And then a second one, bar dash dash B for background, and then a second one. Which we can't see because the margins are wrong bar. Dash dash M or 100. I guess we don't set a width. Great. I'm setting margins to try and put this into position. That height, 10. So the top margin then adjusts, 80, 75, 24, 23, 22. So I'm looking at the edges. Height is 155, 160. That's pretty good. So this second one, okay, and then by adjusting margins, let's just keep pushing on this element till it matches. So the second number 2, 15, and then this number 8, 9, 10, 8, 200, 210, 20, probably 210, something like that, and then this number, so you need a different height, don't we? Probably height. I think it's half as big, maybe. All right, so let's push this down by decreasing the negative margin. I like that. That's pretty good. Okay, so in theory, we can use the same background using the same trick that we did here, right? We're just altering the background based on a variable. So if we do a background that's a radial gradient, and it's circle, so E for extent, or 30 pixels, and then call this E 100%. We could use the same background. Okay, but that's too big. It's in the wrong place. We still don't have a triangle, so let's do our clip path. Clip path, polygon, and a pretty straightforward triangle, which starts, where does it start? It starts at 0% on the x-axis, goes to 50%, and then is the top corner, so that's 100% 0, and then the bottom right corner 100%, 100%. That is close. Oh man, that's close. All right, so this circle is wrong. So let's adjust at 20 pixels. Minus 20 pixels. No, 20, 40 pixels, 50 pixels, 60 pixels. And then it's smaller, 20. That is close. And that width is wrong. So these margins need to be a little bit bigger. 2, 3, 4. And then that needs to be a little smaller, 119. There's a lot good here, but it's also very, very tricky. This margin maybe more, 16. And this more as well, 2 or 70. Oh, that looks better. How about this 17? How about 15? Ooh, that looks even better. All right, okay, we'll take that. All right, we need a line. We need that line between too. Okay, so that's our reliable conic gradient, probably the easiest part of this. And that's at, like, it's 50%, 10 pixels down. That color 75%, and then this light pink, and then this light pink 0. There's our line, and let's just move it 100 pixels, 100 pixels, and then down a little more, 5, 45. Okay, so that's also done. Okay, so I think this triangle is not quite in the right spot, but it is very close, very close. That's 99.9%, and we can see the error. We can see the 0.1% in this case, and so the question is, what do we do? So is it? I think it's pushed down too much, so that would mean this margin. So it's too negative. So 8, 7, 6. 20. There it is. Oh, yeah. Let's submit. Let's find out. That's 100% match. I love that. That's 2 paragraphs with a lot of shared code. We're going to turn var -h or 160, allowing us to do great. And we don't need this anymore because we're not using it. Circle at 60 pixels. 20 pixels is the extent. If we do like 20%, we get a different number. That would work better. And let's submit again. I love that. That's great. I'm very, very pleased with the shortness of this code, or at least the reuse. I really appreciate being able to reuse the triangle and reuse the background. That's a technique that I've been playing with a little bit. It's great to be able to use it here, right? These are the same objects, like literally. Yeah, I mean they're all the same. This one, very complicated. This one, yeah, it's pretty great. And then that's a better score. So curious to see how did I do this before? Let's load this code. So yeah, all gradients, and that's fine. Conic gradient, cardinal gradient. So it's all conic gradient, and then borders around. Border constraint. So that's a fun technique as well, right? So that border is covering that right-hand side. So conic gradient, so conic gradient, radial gradient, then a linear gradient, and then another conic gradient, and then a border to end it up. That's fine too. That's fine too. But I'm really pleased with this particular set of code. All right, thanks for following along. Particularly satisfying set of prior targets. You can go to CSSBattle.dev to subscribe for the plus to get these prior ones. I hope that you get enjoyment and challenge yourself, to learn new techniques. Really was fascinating. So the skew part of this is really the big takeaway, because there may be a set of things that I could do to set that shape with a skew, but with a skew of X and Y, but I don't know what that would be. I'd be very curious to see. That's even more, you're really distorting it. You might need to put it into 3D, effectively 3D space, and sort of twist it around to get these two different angles, which we see are, there's two different angles, I think. I think that's what we're seeing on this element. So, all right, thanks for watching. Be good to each other. Make something cool with CSS and HTML. It's really, really great in troubled times, and great for communicating a message, having a web page. Big fan of that too. If you have opinions, share them with the world. Let people know what you're feeling. All right, take care. Bye.